What's up guys, LeopoldTheBrave here, and welcome to another death battle video, which spawned from an idea in another death battle video, which spawned from another idea in another death battle video. I wonder how long I can keep this chain going. But anyways, over the course of the main death battle series, there's been plenty of side content to keep us busy while we wait for new episodes. The death battle channel used to be Screw Attack, and they had countdowns and best of and worst of, tons of cool stuff. And even when they changed to being exclusively the Death Battle channel, there were still loads to look forward to. DBX, a researchless fight show, The Desk of Death Battle, a show where they went over the fun facts and weird facts about characters they researched, the Death Battle cast, and Death Race. They were never really short on content until fairly recently. Desk of Death Battle hasn't had a new episode in almost 3 years at this point, Death Race only lasted 4 episodes and hasn't returned since last year. And this has been the shortest DBX season so far, with only 9 episodes. That leaves only the Death Battle cast and the main series, which is also shorter this year compared to last year. Now there is of course a very obvious reason for the slowdown, the pandemic. Everyone's working from home, there's budget cuts probably, and it's just a struggle. But even before that, I'm sure Wiz and Boomstick's bank accounts were already wearing a bit thin, what with them becoming animated and all, bringing in Ringmaster for DBX. And Death Race just looks ridiculously expensive at times. You know, in case there only being 4 episodes didn't already tell you that. So the goal of this video is to come up with 5 brand new show ideas for Death Battle to keep the content up, while also showing mercy on the budget. Sound good? Great, then let's begin. The first idea is a versus tutorial, the idea that spawned this video, only fitting, right? And honestly, I'm kinda surprised they haven't made this yet. They're the biggest versus show on YouTube. They should already have a series that explains the deeper parts of Death Battle to the more casual audience. Lots of people don't seem to understand tons and gigatons and petatons. They think these terms are just made up for the show, and the numbers they get from the calcs are just pulled out of their butt. It'd be pretty cool to see Wiz simplify it and explain it to the masses, like, think of it like computer bytes. You know, you have your bytes, your kilobytes, your megabytes, your gigabytes. It's the same with tons. Tons, kilotons, megatons, gigatons. Haha, I'm Wiz. Just simple aspects of the show explained, but not only would it help casual audiences, but it would also assist people who actually want to be versus debaters get even better. Now, I have no trouble doing your pretty standard calcs. I can calculate force and speed and reaction timing. They were pretty easy to understand and self-teach, but there are some that I just struggle with. A close friend of mine has explained to me how to calculate how powerful an explosion is from the crater it leaves behind multiple times, and I still don't understand it. I am a very annoying student. I am not an audio learner or a visual learner. I am a hands-on learner. You have to do it with me for me to understand. So if Wiz were to do a versus tutorial episode where he taught us how to calculate the power required to produce a certain size of crater, by maybe taking us through the crater that Yamcha died in, that would be pretty cool. My second idea is a show called Prep Time. Now this is obviously a play on one of the most consistent versus rules across most versus debates, in that the characters don't get preparation time to fight each other, they're just dropped right into it. But funnily enough, this show is going to have nothing to do with versus. Prep Time is going to be a hype show to prepare you for the episode. Let's say they're doing Mario vs Sonic 3 for whatever reason. The night that Mario's character preview goes up, they could stream Mario Party Superstars and play a few games for a couple hours. And then the night that Sonic's character preview goes up, Ben, who I think is a Sonic fan, could play Sonic Heroes, the best one, for a couple hours. It has nothing to do with the versus aspect of it, it's just spending time with the characters you've just researched and building up hype for them. Now obviously this would only really work for game characters. I guess a few comic and movie characters could slip in there, like for PlayStation 4 Spider-Man. But hopefully it'd still be enough. More content is more content. And they could even open donations during the stream and just raise the budget even more. This is a really cheap and simple idea, but I just feel it would be a ton of fun, especially with the other types of work they do. Just having these game streams related to the characters they're covering, it would be so enjoyable. These next 2 ideas go hand in hand. They're 2 different sides of the same coin. The goal of both is to reuse and recycle old resources and things they've produced to create something brand new. Of course, saving budget and research time. So, idea number 3 is a stats equalized death battle show. At the beginning of every single episode, Wiz tells us, and it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle. But rarely does it ever come down to that. It always comes down to the speed, attack potency, and durability. You know, whichever character's 30 times stronger, or over 800,000 times faster. Yeah, if your opponent has those kind of stats against you, unique weapons like a vibrating sword, armor like a bulletproof vest, and skills like pressure point attacks wouldn't do much for you in the grand scheme of things. Things like that are why many people, including myself, still hold on to the fact that Snake vs. Sam Fisher is the greatest death battle ever made. The results don't mention a single stat, only cool stuff, how like Snake can withstand the EMPs, and how his solid eye can track down Sam. Gara vs. Toph, despite being wrong, still has some of my favorite nuggets of information that determine their outcome. Toph's metal bending being able to control Gara's sand, and how she could still feel the earth even when it isn't connected to the ground. So yes, I'd love to see a death battle spin-off where they take some matchups, rip away the stats, and turn it into a game of tactics. The research would already be there, and they wouldn't have to do any animations either. They could just have a slideshow of illustrations while someone narrates and tells us how the fight will go down. Kinda like one of those storytime videos or whatever. Idea number 4 is a death battle randomizer. There's the other side of the coin. In this series, stats will remain intact, for the most part, but it still wouldn't decide the outcome. The whole thing will be based on random elements. Put the names of every single death battle combatant into a hat, and then just randomly pick out 2. Then from a second hat, randomly pick out a location that you either made up or just took from a series. Then for the third hat, just come up with a bunch of random elements, effects, power-ups, and just everything. Stuff like the first fighter gets their sidekick to help them, or the second fighter gets double stats. Once you have plenty of those, draw 3 of them from a hat. Now you have 2 fighters, a location, and a bunch of random effects. Let's see how this battle goes. A quick example of how potentially chaotic and unpredictable this series could be, let's put Solid Snake up against Ratchet. Seems like a pretty easy Ratchet W, doesn't it? But wait, what if 2 of the random effects you picked out were Combatant 1 is immune to projectiles, and Combatant 1 also has 10 times the stats? Now, 10 times Snake still may not be comparable to Ratchet, but with Ratchet unable to use his primary weapons, being guns, projectile weapons, Snake and his far superior combat skills could still find a way to take the W. Especially if the randomly chosen location just happens to be somewhere that plays into Snake's stealth advantage, like an abandoned factory. And just like the stats show, you wouldn't really need to do any research because it's already been done on the show before. And you wouldn't need to spend animation money either. You could just do the same story narration type thing I mentioned in the previous show. So there you have it, both sides of this little recycling and renewing coin. Let's hope this little penny is valuable enough to be considered. And idea number 5 is a best of series. Just pick a specific topic and pick their favorite things that pertain to that topic. It's something the community, including myself, already does, but I still think it would be lots of fun to hear Death Battle do it themselves. Just hear straight from the producer's mouth what their favorite parts about making the show is. It doesn't always have to be the producers either. The writers could hop on it, the researchers, the animators, maybe they have some episodes that they didn't even animate that are still their favorite. Or they could even have some voice actors who have shown up in the past chip in. Ben and Chad and a couple others have gone over their favorite episodes or deaths on the show a couple times on the Death Battle cast, but not in a very detailed and scripted, thought out manner like this. And that's it, pretty much the easiest one to explain. And those were 5 Death Battle show ideas. With how rough the world is, the amount of content they make is likely extremely difficult and extremely exhausting. So hopefully this video is able to give them some ideas of stuff they can produce that won't be as difficult to make but will also still be tons of fun. Just taking it easy on themselves. But let me know what you guys think. Which idea was your favorite, and which Death Battle show ideas do you have? Be sure to let me know down in the comment section below and I'll check them out. I'll see you guys next time. LeopoldTheBrave, out.